These days, so many of us are hooked on endless streams of content, a never-ending doom scroll of information that we forget about just as fast as it came. In the early days of the internet, going online felt enchanting. It felt like exploring worlds without even having to step outside. But now it feels suffocating, a mind-numbing dopamine that we increase the dose of over and over until we're left with nothing but paralysis. Nothing feels real anymore. Most of what you see is curated based on your clicks, music playlists are filled with AI songs, and even though we're aware it's not good for us, we still crave the comforting feeling of the rectangular device sitting in the palm of our hands. So, I'm going to show you some really awesome websites that you can use to surf the web and explore the vast seas of the internet and not doom scroll for all eternity. There are so many awesome websites that people have made that contain so much knowledge and art and beauty, and you just won't get to see that if you're scrolling on TikTok and Instagram all day. Our brains are not fruit, they are organs that constantly need developing and to be filled with art, creativity, knowledge, wisdom, and not an overwhelming amount of doubt, pressure, and insecurities. And I'm not saying go ahead and just delete your social media, because it's so ingrained into our society to the point where your job probably requires you to have an Instagram, or the only way to talk to your friend in a different country is through TikTok. When you surf the web, it has a strange feeling to it at first. At least for me, I felt very jittery and was automatically like, okay, this is cool, what's next? I need to keep going and see everything at one time. But then once you realize that there's just a set amount of stuff on that page, you can really take a breath and take your time and look through everything and see what inspires you. You can note down what you learned and take inspiration from that, and who knows, that might spark a new interest in you, or maybe inspire you to start a new hobby or a craft. And if you're someone who likes to do commonplace journaling, then you can write down all the stuff that you learned. But I'm rambling a bit, so let's just start. Alright, so our first website is Cari Institute, which is an index of aesthetics. So basically what this website does is shows you different styles and tells you a little bit about it, what year it was most active, when the designs of that particular style started to die down, and cool styles that relate to that one. So on this website, you can easily search up a specific keyword, and you can type like maybe between early 1970s and late 1990s. You can search that way, or you can just scroll through and see all of the different aesthetics and styles that they show. And I think this is really cool, not only to know the actual names of certain styles, but also to find inspiration in your fashion, in your graphic design, in your interior design, or just any other creative thing that you're doing. So I'm gonna show how this operates. I'm just gonna go to Global Village Coffee House, for example. So when you click on the specific style, it'll tell you what years it was active, and then a little synopsis of that. It shows that some of the symbols and common motifs would include woodcuts, moons, suns, spirals. And then if you scroll down, it'll show you actual visual examples of what the style entails. And so you can see that they used to put it on old Perrier bottles. This is from 1996. And the cool thing about this website is that they actually show the sources. So if I click this, it shows that this is the company that made those bottles, and you can dive deeper into it if you want to and all of that. But this is really cool, and the more you interact with the different products, the different interior design, the different album covers in that particular style, the faster you'll be able to recognize it and be able to twist it up a little and change it up to your own style if you want to maybe make an outfit that's based off of this style, or your photography, color grading, you want it to fit this style. You know, you can use this for anything. And down here it shows related aesthetics to it as well, like curly girl. Curly girls, late 1990s to mid 2000s. It says the 1990s groovival aesthetic is a big influence here. And so you can see this is literally my childhood. But you can see this is the curly girl aesthetic, and I'm curious to see what the groovival aesthetic is. And it says this is the 1990s rehashing of the 1960s hippie flower power aesthetics, as both a nostalgic play to boomers and an attempt to entice kids with bright psychedelic shapes and colors. So it's just really, really cool and interesting to go through all of this. And if you don't really like how this website is in particular, you can go to their Arena website, which is basically kind of like Pinterest but without all the ads and AI. There's probably AI pictures on here. You can go through here and choose the same way you did on the other one. I'm going to choose Gen X Soft Clubs, one of my favorites. It'll still give you the synopsis and as well as the sources. So if I go to this, for example, Moby Raining Again, it says it's an album that came out in 2005. This album cover in particular fits the Gen X Soft Club aesthetic, and if you want to check the album out, the source is here. It takes you to their Discogs website, and you could potentially buy the CD or vinyl, or kind of, I don't think you can play it on here, but you can go on YouTube, check it out, see if you like it. And then throughout all this, you just learned about what Gen X Soft Club was, and you found a new album that you really like. Since we're on Arena, I can recommend Arena. I'm sure a lot of people have been recommending this as an alternative to Pinterest. I think you have to pay. I don't pay. I'm on the free version. But you can see that you have boards that you can make, and then you can add the specific items. And I feel like this gives the sources more than Pinterest. Like a lot of times Pinterest tends to be just re-uploads of other people's photos without the sources, but this one contains the source. Like, oh, that cardigan's beautiful. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. You have to explore it yourself, but they do have really cool images. And it's cool to explore what other people are interested in, even though you don't know these people whatsoever. And you never know what you'll find. So this next website is wplace.live, which is a website where you can literally paint anywhere in the world that you want. So I had it already in Reston, Virginia, because that's where I used to live a long time ago. And I was curious to see what people would draw over there. It's a whole bunch of illustration clutter here, but it's really interesting to see what people draw. You can paint your own thing. So I'm gonna choose a space that hasn't been drawn on. I'll draw right here. I'll put a little smiley face. If you hold space down and then hold the mouse, you can draw. I was trying to draw Ecoshun, but there's my little mark on the world in where in Virginia is this? In Middleburg, Virginia. There you go. I think this is really fun. So the next website is Film Grab. This is one of my ultimate favorites. If you're someone who's into film or photography, graphic design, or colors in general, I think this website would be really helpful for you. You can type in any movie that you like. So I typed in Spencer. This is a film from 2021 about Princess Diana, I think. This movie introduced me to Princess Diana. I didn't know anything about her until this movie, but I really loved the color grading in this film. And since I'm learning how to color grade, it would be cool to take one of these film stills and add it to the software that I'm using and try to replicate it, just so I'm learning the skill of color grading and figuring out my specific style with that. I also really love the composition of this shot in particular. So if you're someone who's doing photography and trying to learn composition, you can take this as inspiration, go outside, touch grass, and take a picture similar to this, edit it the way you want to. Or if you're someone who likes to do graphic design or collage, you could literally cut her out in Photoshop or print the image out and cut it out with like an X-Acto knife and create a mixed media animation. Like, this website is really cool, and it just is filled with possibilities. The next couple of websites are going to be music based, and I think is really nice if you're someone who's trying to discover more music, more genres, or if there's a specific genre you really like and you just want to find smaller artists or artists that you've never heard of within that genre, then these websites will be perfect for that. So the first one is Rate Your Music. It's been here for ages. It's really great to find music that isn't usually on platforms. I think there's a lot of music that you can discover on here that you won't on other websites. I'm gonna go to, let's see, I'll go to Magic Alive. This came out in 2025. This was a cool album. I checked it out a while ago. So basically it tells you information about the album. It tells you the artist, the genre, as well as descriptors, which is really, really cool. So if you're looking for music that's bright, bittersweet, energetic, spring, friendship, and maximalist, then this is the album for you. You can also see other people's reviews of the album, as well as the different lists. And I feel like it might seem overwhelming at first, but I think this is really cool because if you go on to any of the lists, you can check out you can check out a whole bunch of other albums and like, oh, I've never listened to Donuts by Jay Dilla. This looks interesting. I like how he's smiling. Let me check it out. And then if you really liked it, like, okay, this is showing me that I really like instrumental hip hop. So let me go see, okay, the top ranking albums of instrumental hip hop are these. So let me check out Shades of Blue by Madlib. Like, okay, this is really nice. And you can go through like a little wormhole and just find everything, you know? And you can even hit the genres up here and just go to a very specific genre that you want to check out. So classical music, it'll show the top ranking albums, it'll show different albums based on the release date. Wow, these ratings are terrible. And you can just keep doing that and see where the wind takes you. Another similar website is Album of the Year. This is one that I use more than Rate Your Music just because I like the UI a lot more. I usually just rate the albums that I listen to after I listen to them. I don't really write reviews. I just put what songs I liked the most. I take the average of all of the songs and then put that as the rating, but it's hard to rate stuff, honestly. The same thing goes, like, this is one of my favorite albums, Aventine by Agnes Obel. You can start there, like, oh my gosh, I love this album. I want to find more people that are like her. You can either go to the genre and then go through that, like Rate Your Music, or you can go to her in particular and find similar artists to her like that and go from there. Now this website is really cool because it starts off with a whole bunch of genres that you probably haven't even heard of before. You can scroll all the way through and just choose a random genre. So I'm gonna start at the top. I'll do dark techno, and if you click the name, it'll automatically start playing a random song, so you can kind of get a feel of how the genre sounds like. But if you want to go more deeper, you'll hit this little symbol on the side and then it'll show a whole bunch of artists. I think the larger the artist name is, the more popular they are. Let me see if I can go to K-pop so I can see if that's true or not. You see how BTS is super big? That, like, BTS is huge. Blackpink is huge. TXT is huge, and you can go from there if you want to find, FX is huge in my heart. Okay, I'm gonna go to FX, and if you hit the artist, it'll show you all their albums, their singles, every single song title, and if you click that song, most likely it'll open a Spotify link, but if you use something else other than Spotify, you can just copy and paste the song or the album into that and then discover it from there. And I think this is just a really cool website to look for a bunch of stuff. And you can also, if you click scan, it'll choose a random genre for you. If you click list, it'll just list everything out instead of having it the way that it was the first time. And then the playlist option is really cool because they'll open up the Spotify and they'll have their little Spotify account where they have playlists based on every single genre. So you don't have to go through the website exactly. You can just check it out this way. Say you're in your car and you want to check out new music, just hit play and all that stuff. The last music website is this Radio Garden, which basically plays a radio from any place in the world. So if you go to somewhere in America, I don't know, it says I'm in Crawfordsville, Indiana, I think. You can check out WCDQ Country 106.3 FM and you can see what's being played right now, or if you want to go to a different country, you can do that. And I think it's really cool. If you like the song, you could just Shazam it, you know. Now we're on NeoCities. NeoCities are so cool to me because you essentially have complete control over how you want your website to look like. It's very customizable if you know how to code. I really want to make my own NeoCity, but I don't know how to code, so it's going to take some time for me to get there. But in the meantime, I can show you some of my favorites. One of my favorites is Itatoys. I really love how she decorated her website. It's very beautiful, very interactive. I think she's the coolest person ever. I'm gonna cover my face for a bit, but if you can see, this is her little diary, and she takes pictures of her outfits, and I feel like her style is very beautiful. It's very inspired by Japanese fashion, but I love how she presents herself with her outfits and makes them kind of like magazine pages where she talks about where the shoes are from, where the specific details are from. I love the lighting in this photo in particular. This inspires me so much. Like, I really just want to start taking pictures of my outfits more like this. And she's also a graphic designer, so she designs a lot of album covers too. And she doesn't have any social media except for this website and Tumblr, which is really awesome. You can check out her wardrobe. She has like the little year of when it came out or something like that. I don't know. And she also scans different magazines as well, so you can take inspiration from these magazine scans, and it just shows what she's interested in, which is really cool to me. She has a little, here we go, she has a little profile that explains like what she's into, her favorite films, TV shows, music, and all of that. And this is just her space. Like, you don't have to worry about algorithms or likes. You can just post and enjoy your time on your website. Now this one is Alsopato. He is a YouTuber, which is really cool. I think his NeoCity is more accessible to me because you just need, you know, your basic HTML. Like it says right here, it says source used for the HTML right here. So I might do that too. But it's really cool because he has music, photography, reviews. If you go to the photography, you can see what film he used, which camera in particular. I think this is the camera, or it might be more film. But basically, this is literally just his little blog where he posts his photography, his little photo dumps. Like, you don't have to use Instagram for your photo dumps, and doing it on here makes it more natural to you. Like, this is a picture that I like and not something that I want to post because this fits Instagram better and all that stuff. Like, you post whatever you want. This is your website. He has reviews for certain things like music, movies, books. I really want to do this. It's really cool. And now this one, you can spend ages on this NeoCity. This one in particular, there's a lot going on, and I think it's in a good way. It's really cool and informative. You can just choose where you want. I'm gonna start with links. But basically, their link page is filled with link galore. There's music links there. This is where I found the Radio Garden, by the way, and another website that I'm going to talk about after this. But you can just go through all of these. You can go through all of those. You can go through their media recs, which is their recommendations for music and movies. And then this right here, I went through this a little bit ago. I clicked to the mountain, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I kept going and going and going and go. Okay, it stops here. No, it doesn't. Yeah. Oh wait, I don't want to. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, you can fall into a little rabbit hole of stuff, which is interesting. And you can just check out a whole bunch of stuff. They have a bunch of games that are interesting to go through if you want to play one of their games. This NeoCity is amazing. They also have a site map that takes you to everything if you don't want to go through the interactive homepage. And then this website, Wayne's World, which I found from the previous NeoCity, this is a virtual textbook, essentially. You can learn about a lot of different stuff on here. Say you are really interested in wildflowers. You want to learn more about wildflowers, so you can just click the first thing and go from there. You can learn a lot and add stuff to your commonplace. So if you're someone like me who wants to remember what they've learned and interacted with and are interested in, then I think it would be cool to take notes or just read through all of this if you have the time. Go through and see what sparks interest and add it to your commonplace, and then the next time you go through your commonplace you can dive deeper into it. It's kind of like the whole digital garden thing where you add little seeds and eventually branch out and create a garden with what you've learned. But yeah, this is really cool. If you want to learn botany, it'll tell you about types of subterranean roots or adventitious roots arising from stems, and it's really, really cool. I think I do want to go through this at some point because I was really interested in learning botany a long time ago, but I just didn't know where to start exactly. But I have this. The internet is filled with resources so you can do anything and everything. Right now, I'm about to start learning how to use Touch Designer, and I just found out about it last night. It's really cool. The last website I have to show is fallingfruit.org. It's really cool because it tells you about different trees everywhere and where you could potentially get some fruit for free. I don't remember how I found this website, but I know I was interested because I was thinking about Animal Crossing and how I live in Georgia and this is the peach state. I thought it would be so cute if we had a bunch of peach trees everywhere like Animal Crossing, and we'd randomly just pick peaches off the trees and stuff like that. But then of course they're not gonna let you do that because they want you to pay for the peaches and not enjoy nature the way it was intended. But if you go on this website, you can scroll to where you're at. So I'm gonna just go to Atlanta in general, and it'll tell you where certain trees are. So there's a fig tree right here on this street. It has a little street view, so you can kind of zoom in and see that there's a fig tree. You also should know how to identify the trees. Like say if you drive over here to see the tree, you want to make sure like, oh, okay, that is a fig tree. You don't want to just go to it and be like, I think this is a fig tree. You probably should know how to identify them. A peach tree is here. It says, and the cool thing about this is that people will actually review it and take pictures and leave reviews. So it says that this peach tree has poor quality. It's by the entrance to the school, a few peaches, but they look diseased. So it seems to be, oh, I lost it. Oh, it's gone now. I found a blackberry Rubens. It's a blackberry bush, I think. Yeah, you just have to read through the reviews, and if you have the time, take out time of your day and go fruit tree searching and stuff like that. Those were all the websites that I had to show. I might do a part 2 once I discover new ones, but these were just the ones that I used the most and that I thought were really cool to the point where I wanted to share with other people. So hopefully the ones that I showed you were helpful. They will kind of help you learn about new things, maybe start new hobbies or study cool things that you never knew about. But yeah, happy surfing.